Hi there everyone, this is Kelly Gettelfinger with Always Stampin' Videos. Today I'm going to show you how to do a very simple watercolored sky. I'm making this project for my friend Colleen, who will be sharing this project with her AD friends. AD standing for adorable. No, that's not what it stands for, but they know what it stands for and I'm sure they're quite adorable. So let's get started on our adorable bookmarks. You're going to begin with a piece of watercolored cardstock and a few re-inkers. I'm using the colors Crushed Curry, Mellow Mambo, and Island Indigo, and I've just dropped a few drops into an empty plastic palette. I'm going to use a watercolor marker or an aqua painter and just pick up a little bit of the yellow. And as I squeeze it onto my cardstock, it's going to mix the water with the re-inker, and I can just push it wherever I want it. If I get lines in there that I don't like, I can just go back over them. Now I'm going to pick up some of the Mellow Mambo, which is pretty dark, so I'm going to start off and come onto the page this way. Okay, now I'm going to go right into the Island Indigo. And as I'm squeezing, like I said, I am putting a lot of water with those colors. If I don't like that dark, I can go back over it, like I said, with the water painter, the aqua painter. And so then I'm going to clean off my aqua painter by just brushing it onto my scrap paper, lay that aside. You can blow dry that with a hair dryer if you want to flatten it out, and then just bring it back in and pull it into shape like this. And you're going to bring in your ink pad. I'm using Island Indigo. I've got a couple scripture stamps by Our Daily Bread Designs and some cute little raindrops from Sweet and Sassy Stamps. And this happens to be a stamp set that features my daughter's artwork. It's called Wendy Winnie. And that's where those cute little raindrops come from. My artist is a daughter. My daughter is an artist for Sweet and Sassy Stamps. So we're going to start with the raindrops. And I'm going to start at the bottom first. That way I leave plenty of room for my scripture. And I'm going to work up from there. Now whenever you press into the ink pad, make sure you're just barely tapping, just a gentle tap, and not a push or press. All right, 2 or 3 raindrop presses or images, and then you're good for your scripture. Same thing, I'm just going to barely tap, gently tap. I want that to lay flat just a little bit more. Don't touch the blue ink because it does take a little while to dry. I'm going to push firmly in the center of my scripture, just to make sure that it all gets on there well. And then I'm going to take a Stampin' Sponge and I'm going to add sponging around the edges. You can add a little or a lot, it's totally up to you. When you add a little, just barely run it off the edge of the cardstock like this. But if you want to add a lot, then just really go deep onto the cardstock. And I'm going to do that all the way around. And like I said, be careful for touching the blue because it's still probably just a little wet. I think that looks good. Okay, then next we're going to add some crystal effects to the raindrops and make those look like actual rain. Oh, I'm so sorry. I touched my camera holder. Did you get a little motion sickness there? I'm so sorry. All right. Okay, here's the crystal effects. And I'm just going to shake it down and make sure it's coming out well on a piece of tissue, and it is. And then I'm just going to gently squeeze and drop a drop onto each raindrop. I'm just going to barely touch that drop onto the cardstock. And once it drops, I'm just going to lift it up, move on to the next raindrop. You can add a lot or a little, it's up to you. I wish you could see this well in the camera, but I actually don't think that you can see it. But you get the idea. And then you're going to let that dry for about 30 minutes. You can speed that up with a heat tool, not a hair dryer, because the hair dryer will push the crystal effects away, but a heat tool will dry it a little bit quicker. But I would recommend that you just do the crystal effects last and lay that aside to dry for about 30 minutes. So thanks, Colleen, for giving me this opportunity to share you with some friends on my YouTube channel. And for those of you that do not know Colleen McCain, you can find her book and her husband's book most bookstores. It's called It's His Show. I'm pretty sure you can find it on Amazon. It's a great read, especially when it comes to grace. Thanks for visiting, and have a creative day.